for me to work with this group of 18 amazing software engineers for the past 7 weeks. So I want to give you a little background about why we do this collaboration with Rakuten RapidAPI. Rakuten RapidAPI is kind enough to support our school and allowing students to build a full stack app from scratch using APIs from their platform. And this provides our software engineers with experience in, first of all, building another full stack app so they get a little bit more practice under their belts, but also it provides them the opportunity to have impact on a real world product through giving feedback to Rakuten RapidAPI. And I will say over the 6 cohorts that we've done this collaboration with, I have noticed a lot of changes. So I think that it empowers our software engineers to realize that they can have an impact on the products that they are a part of creating. So we're so grateful to have this opportunity. And so without further ado, I want to actually introduce Yasu from Rakuten RapidAPI, who's going to talk a little bit about the platform today. So let's give him a warm hand.
Thank you, Heather, and then thank you for all to using our platform to build your awesome app. So without further ado, maybe I can just explain a little bit about ourselves and then pass the baton to students. So we are Rakuten RapidAPI, the world's largest API marketplace. With our partner, RapidAPI, our mission is to help developers around the world to build their applications faster with better quality. And a little bit background about myself. So I studied totally different field like most of the students here, and then I studied architecture, and then at some point I want to build my software, so I tried to program it by myself, and then it didn't work out because I didn't join Chrysalis. So hope any of you guys want to join Chrysalis, and then you should do that. So instead, I try to help developers like you by distributing the product called RapidAPI. So right now I work as a marketing lead and then try to help vendors. And then I'm an organizer for the other is like so what is API? I mean, I'm pretty sure you all know, but let me give you like brief introduction. So API stands for Application Programming Interface, which is a set of communication like protocol between software components. So using like APIs, you can pass data and the functionalities from one computer, like one software to another. And then the benefits of using API are like having new possibilities. So because once you use API, then you don't need to build functionality from scratch. So you can basically like combine few APIs to build software, and then it allows you to develop software faster. And then also like each API has their strengths in their functionalities. So they have the best in their functionalities. So basically you can get a better service for building on top of APIs. And then lastly, it's cost effectiveness. So if you want to build something, then you need to build from scratch, and then which takes lots of time and then lots of resources to build it. The APIs, most of the case, is pay per use. So that means you only pay what you use. Because these three like benefits, you can get more new possibilities. So let's imagine you are building a imaginary app that allow you to book a flight. So in that case, you might want to have a flight search functionalities, and then also like it might be good to book a hotel from that flight destination. And then also you might want to know like what is the weather of destination. So like is it snowy or is it sunny? So depending on the weather, you might want to have your app built on the weather, like on the functionality. And then also once a user decide to buy like the ticket, and then they want to have like pay the ticket, so that way you might want to have payment functions. And then also like if this app is like supposed to distribute around the world, like Japan, Korea, or other countries, then you might want to have a current converters. Depends on the weather, you might want to have a ticket. Then the user might want to get email notification like itineraries and then all the like hotels near the like destination. And then lastly, if users are traveling to the destination 1 day or 2 days before, they might want to get a push notification of like where they are going, and then also make sure they are not like forget their passport, which I did once, and they cost me $800 like by additional like flight ticket. So with that things we can see like positive like changes in the industry. So on the right circle, you can see there's like rise of API companies like Twilio, Stripe, SendGrid, ATM. They didn't exist 10 years ago, but they became a billion-dollar companies for just only several years. And then on the left side, you can see there's like developers as a user segment. So Microsoft purchased GitHub a few years back with like $10.5 billion. So which means they pay $300 per each user. And then similar apply to GitLab. So each user has worth over $1,000. So because of these two positive trends, we are so bullish on this market. But at the same time, we have a challenge that we need to solve. So if it comes to using APIs, the challenge you are gonna face is there's like 30,000 APIs among the market. So how you gonna like compare and then discover each APIs in that field? Then the second challenge is like once you decide which API you use, and then how you can get familiar with this API in a most quick, efficient way. The third is like once you decide to use APIs for like 5 to 10 APIs in your mobile app, then how you can manage these APIs? If you use like 5 to 10 APIs, you might need to like log in on and off to like their softwares, and then also make sure like you don't spend more billing than you needed to. In order to solve these problems, we actually developed software called Rakuten RapidAPI. So this is the API marketplace. So you can come and then find the APIs among our more than 10,000 API collections. And then there's like more than 1 million users worldwide are using our product and then develop their product with a faster and then cheaper way. Also, we are really excited to announce our new product called Teams. So for a few months back, we didn't have this like product, so people are creating one account and then pass their confidential to other teammates. But since we have a team, so if you have a startup or if you work in the like hackathon, then you can like create multiple each one of you can create an account and then you get invited to the team. So that way you can build your software among the APIs. So once you use Teams, you can share private APIs and then also share API subscriptions. And then you can see like what others are using among the team. So with this product, we are providing 4 values. One is discoverability. So we have like 10,000 APIs on our platform. So that means you can come to our website and then see choose this from these many APIs. And then there's also like another benefit is there's like APIs like Scanner or other APIs that are only available for our website. If you go to their original website, they only provide their API to corporate. So if you want to use as an individual developers, it's a good way to come to our site and then start using. And the next benefit is consumption. So you can like test and then configure your endpoint from one website, one window. And then also the next one is payment. So if you have you want to manage your payment method and then also monitoring how much you spend per month, and then it's a good way to monitor your payment on our website. And lastly is monitoring. So if you use multiple APIs, you might want to make sure you don't use too much API traffic so that hit to your limit. So that way our monitoring function allows you to monitor all the APIs, and then if there's any alert, any bugs, you can see the API's performance on our monitoring system. So this is our UI. I'm going through the quick demo of how it looks. So basically there's 4 functionalities. One is find APIs, and then 2 is test endpoint. And then third is once you decide this API is good to use, then you can integrate to your software or code base. And then third is what I mentioned, management. So you can see how many API calls you made for past months or past few months. So these are our popular APIs. There are many more, but you can see there are some popular APIs like Twilio, StandGrid, Microsoft, and then also one of the popular in Dark Sky. And then also there's Line onboarded few months back, so you can come to our website and then use Line API as well. And then I want to do a quick demo for how to use our software, and then also want to show you how our API works. So I want to do 2 demos. One is Microsoft Computer Vision, and then another one is Nextmore SM Messages. So for Nextmore SM Messages, I need one of your help to tell me your phone number, so that way I can send you a short message. Does anybody want to volunteer for that?
I don't want. If I go grab my phone, I can do mine.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
I can give my number.
Okay.
070.
Oh, no. Yeah, maybe 5 minutes later.
Okay.
Right, maybe I just go ahead and then just start from one of the tutorial, one of the demo. So this is how our website looks like, and you want to make sure you go to english.api.rakuten.net. The reason behind that is because we have our partners called RapidAPI, and then they have identical website, but there are some functionalities you can only use from our website. So you want to make sure you come to visit english.api.rakuten.net or simply api.rakuten.net. So if you come to our website, it looks like this. So there's huge search bar. So if you know what kind of APIs you are using and then the name, you can come here and then search your API name. And then if you scroll down, there has a section called collections. So collections is a set of APIs that fit in same categories. So if you scroll down like this, so this API collection is geolocation API like Google Maps. So basically if you want to use some geolocation based API, then you can come here and then go click here, and then it shows all the geolocation APIs that we think might be useful to you. And then once you come here, and then there's a bunch of APIs, so one panel means one API. So let me zoom out. So for this one, and then there's API title and then explanation. And then on the bottom side, you can see 3 metrics. On the right side, it's a popularity. So basically, how popular is this API compared to others. And the next one is latency. How fast you can get response by calling APIs. Millisecond is like pretty fast, but you want to make sure this number is smaller, because once it gets larger, like 1,000 milliseconds, then you can see the kind of like lag between like when you make a call and then get the response. And the last one is success rate. So for the past like 30 days, how much you like this API got success like post back to the website. So you want to make sure this number is higher. Higher is better. And then also if you find any APIs that you might like, then you can click here and then bookmark API. And then also I want to like introduce quickly about our organizational functions. So as I mentioned, there's like, because if you develop your software with your teammates, you want to make sure you want to like share your APIs among your teammates, so you can see everybody in your team can see which API you are using and then how much your team are paying. So that way, it's a good way to go to here and then find your status of which API your team are using. So up to like 5 people, it's free, so feel free to use, and then we want to charge. Yeah, I mean, there's no mistake, we want to charge. Right, let's back to like Microsoft Computer Vision. So whenever you know like what kind of API you want to use, then you can search here. So I want to do a quick demo of Microsoft Computer Vision. So if you type the name and then it shows up, so you click here, and then it leads to this like detail page for Microsoft Computer Vision. So there's like 4 pages underneath. One is like endpoint, then the next is about page, which means like there's like simple explanation of like how this API is and then how you can use this API. The next one is discussion page. So if you want to talk to API providers, then you can write message here, and then so that way the API provider can actually reply back to your comment. Last one is the pricing page. So if you see that, and this plan is like freemium, so that means you have a free plan and then also paid plan, like you can see here. So this time I want to like describe one image and then put here in Microsoft Computer Vision, and then let this API to decide what the image look like. So to do that, I click endpoint. And the endpoint is simply set of like functionalities. So in this case, we are going to go to describe image from file. Once you click here, and then there's simple explanation in here, and then there's like header parameters. So it's already filling, so you don't need to worry about this. And then there are 2 like parameters. One is required parameter, which you have to put in, and then the other is optional. So in this case, I want to use one image, which is I don't think that changed. So I cannot show like the image, but the image I wanted to show is maybe some of you might already know. Internet meme, a dog sit in front of laptop and then watching the inside of here, and then says, I don't know what I'm doing. So I cannot show here, so but let me just click here, and then the sample, this one. So you can see like dog is not sure like what he's doing. So once you click and then upload the image, And then this is like optional parameters, so you can decide how many like result you want to get. So I put 3, and then all you have to do is click test endpoint. So this gives you like 200 success API call with the, if you want to see the result, and then you come here and then click, and then there's 3 like descriptions. So I can see. So it says a dog sit on the table, so with 56% of like confidence. So it's not quite right. So we can just scroll down and then click another one. And then it says a dog sitting in front of computer, so it's pretty right, and then with 42% of confidence. So this is like quick demo of Microsoft Computer Vision. The next one, I need your like phone number, and then I want to send like 1 SMS to you. So I put next. So we are going to use Nextmo SMS messages and then send a short SMS to one of you, and then can you provide your phone number, please?
So it's gonna be
Endpoint, and then it should give me like 200 success API call. So hopefully after like, so you got it? Thank you. So I can like go to back to like site. So I want to quickly touch upon like, so we have like our SNS, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Please come to our website and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you so much, Yasu, for introducing that product to us. Very good job. So, without further ado, we have our first team. So, this team's app is called Overcast, and it is a music app that selects tracks based on a user's weather at their current location and their chosen genre. So, it's really exciting, really beautiful. So, let's give it up for Team Overcast.
introduce our app to everybody. Yep, this is our logo, and from Heather's lovely introduction, you can probably figure out what we're about to show you, but plenty of surprises to come. Alright, so to start off, my name is Max. I was the tech lead on this project. I worked mostly on the front end myself, and
Hi everyone, my name is Khan. I work mainly on backend.
Hi everybody, I'm Sachi. I work on backend and I'm a back lead.
Hello everyone, I'm Vicky. I work on frontend.
thank you, Miki.
So I'd like to share with everyone about our inspiration, why we created this app. We believe that our mood changes with the weather. For example, when it's sunny outside, I feel happy, I feel lively, I feel more energetic. I hope you don't feel sad when it's sunny outside. And we also believe that our music tastes change with our mood. When I feel happy, I want to listen to something faster. I feel like dancing. I feel more lively that I want to make my move. Therefore, we created Overcast, an app that generates playlists for users based on their choice of music genres and also the user's current location weather. For example, in sunny days, the user will get faster song, higher tempo, and when it's rainy, you get something more mellow, more acoustic. Our app also features stunning images that actually changes according to the weather. When it's sunny, rainy, night, cloudy. And next, I'd like to pass it to Mickey, who will talk about our technology.
Thank you, Khan. I'm going to talk about APIs and technologies. We use this API. Spotify is a so famous music app, and Spotify also has useful API. We used recommendation API to get recommended music. And also we use dark sky and temperature converter to get weather information. And the technologies we used are React Redux and Node.js Express and Axios, and we deployed our app to Rocku. So I will pass to Max to show our demo.
Thank you, Miki. Alright. Okay, so my watch stopped working today, but it is nighttime right now. I'm confident about that. So we're going to see a lovely example of what music is going to be generated for us, given that it is night and it is 12 degrees Celsius outside right now. Does anyone have a favorite genre of music they want to listen to?
Metal.
Metal! Everyone always says metal, I like this. Alright, let's go for it. Okay, here is our metal at nighttime. See any songs you recognize?
Of course.
Yeah, give me a song.
Now we die.
Alright, we could listen to the entire thing, that would be great, but we don't have time. We also really wanted to show off our mobile version because we were pretty proud of how that turned out, and it also features everyone's favorite background, the rainy background. So let's take maybe one more music genre.
Jazz.
Jazz! Metal and jazz every single time, guys. Okay, recognize any of these? Wanderlust. Let's see. I already know this. This is a good rainy song. Wonderful, yes, and that is our demo. I'm now going to pass it over to Sachi to talk about some of the challenges we faced.
Thank you, Max. So I'm going to talk about some of the challenges we faced during development. The first one is from backend. To get the playlist, we needed to use multiple APIs, and each API requires different information to access and then receive the data. So that was very challenging for us to figuring out what information to pass. And the second one was, we call it mystery endpoint. Yesterday morning, we came to the lab, turned on the computer. The program worked on one computer, didn't work on other computers. And then we took a few hours to find out it was just a little typo. And the last one was from front end. Our front end team decided not to use any library for this beautiful UI, so it was very challenging for them. Yeah. I pass back to Max.
All right, thank you, Sachi. Okay, so the future of Overcast might have a few other functionalities. For instance, we're interested in adding some more genres. We have a very specific group of genres right there, so maybe other things would be nice. More detailed forecast, I'll let you know what your location is, what the weather's going to be like later, things like that. Personalized playlists, so users can maybe decide to not see a song or customize it to their Spotify profile. Right now, you must choose every song, so we would like to be able to autoplay and have you continuously listen to things. Yeah, maybe the sky clears up and it's sunny now, so in that situation, we'd like to have the playlist update as the weather changes. And also, we were interested in another lyrics API, so maybe generating playlists based on the lyrics of the songs would be really interesting to us as well. Right, who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening. Here we have a QR code that is going to bring you to our repository on GitHub. There we'll have a link to our deployed app on Rocku. So please check it out, have fun, listen to some music, some night music. Yeah, and that would be all. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Very much again to Team Overcast. I'm sure that everyone is looking forward to using that later tonight and playing around with it. So great job. So let's give it one more time for Team Overcast. Okay, so our next team has a very timely idea for an app. So they have created a coronavirus situation app. And our next team would like for you to know that you should be spreading correct information about coronavirus, not the virus itself. So let's give it up for Team A.
Good evening, everyone. We are Team A. So our team will talk about this app, World Chronostat. Before talking about our app, we will introduce ourselves a little bit. So I'm Kasumi. I worked for front-end side for this project.
My name is Ricky. I worked on front-end mainly.
I'm Nell. I worked on APIs and maps mostly.
And my name is Gente, so I worked on front-end using React with TestMe.
Hello, my name is Dan. I worked on back-end and building the maps.
let's start. Our team is creating this ad. So the big question is, can we survive coronavirus outbreak? Our answer is yes. But with the right tool, which provide us correct and latest information as soon as possible. So that's why we created this application. So I'm going to pass to Genter.
Okay, thank you, Kasumi. So I'd like to talk about idea creation. How did we come up with this brilliant idea? So there are three approaches. So the first one is we were thinking about ideas individually. So what kind of applications we want to realize and what kind of APIs we want to use during this project. Also, the second point is to share ideas with members. And the third point is to discuss which idea we are gonna realize. Then, we decided to build this application. So next would introduce our dev application to you guys.
Exactly, thank you. You will be able to see, hopefully, how it looks. And the first thing you see, obviously, is a map. We use Google Maps for that, with custom markers for each country affected by coronavirus. And on the right, some stats about countries affected as well. If you scroll down, you will see news that you can read in 10 languages, and not just translated, but coming from those news agencies. And that's a little bit about the app itself. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about are technologies used. And we used React for the front end, obviously Google Maps API for the map itself, and that's the only API that didn't come from Rakuten RapidAPI service. For everything else, we used Rakuten RapidAPI. So we used the Geocode API, Bing, News, REST countries for those additional information, and Coronavirus Monitor API, which we were actually surprised to find, given that it's not really expected in any way. We deployed our app on Rocku, and now Dan will talk a little bit more about future plans.
Yeah, so we're really happy with where we got to with this first iteration of our app. However, we do have a few plans for the next time. So we'd like to add language support to the sidebar. Currently, language support is only available for the newsfeed. We'd also like to make the markers scale to the amount of cases. So currently, our markers on the map just pinpoint where the cases are. They don't indicate the size. And lastly, we'd like to add some charts for each country as well, just to show a better visual representation of what's going on.
And lastly, we'd like to talk about our struggles and what we did well. The first struggle we faced is that when working with multiple APIs concurrently, we needed to take different approaches to make every API available. And the second one is deployment to Heroku. Since we beta support the repository in a folder, so basically what we needed to deploy wasn't exactly in the repository. There was like a layer of folders, so we need to sort that out too. And what we did well, the first one is regular communication. We had a quick meeting every 30 minutes to make sure we are all making progress. And the second one is flexible task distribution. If you finish your task, you just find another task to work with. And the third one is clarification of goal. We set a goal really thoroughly, so we didn't really struggle to, we didn't have confusions while just keep making progresses. And that led to a lot of contributions and progresses. And thank you for listening, guys, for your time as well. These are our GitHub handles, and also please scan this QR code by which you can jump to our amazing app. And again, thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much to Team A for keeping us safe and knowledgeable about this very real threat that's facing us today. So one more time, let's give a round of applause for Team A. Okay, we're going to change gears a little bit with our next team. So let's welcome Team Rocku to the stage. Team Rocku built Rocku, not Rakuten. Rocku, and that is your happiness dashboard, so you never have to be sad again. Yay!
And it's on. It's not done yet. Right to the bottom. Okay, let's try this.
Okay, hello everyone. Today we are introducing our great application, Rocku. So this Rakuten, Rocku. Rakuten? Yeah, Rocku, yeah. Rocku stands for comfortable or happy in Japanese. Also stands for optimism, just like Rakuten Corporation's spirit, by chance. Using this application, user can see their happy elements in dashboard. So let me introduce ourselves. Okay. Firstly, a great team leader and engineer, Mary. And next, super full stack engineer, Haruna. And then, amazing full stack engineer, Sarah. Super communicator and Scrum Master Engineer, Antonio. And me, Tech Lead Engineer, Kota. Thank you. And next, Mary Pratt.
Hey Kota, thank you for the fabulous introduction, and hello everyone. I'm going to be showing you the demo of our application, and I cannot wait for you to see it. So, before we go any further with our app, I just want to show you our mobile version. So Rocku was created using Material UI, and we developed it using a mobile-first practice, which means we wanted it to work and look good on mobile before we focused on the desktop version. So now, the first thing you might notice when you open up Rocku is this cute little email icon in the corner. Now this allows you, through SendGrid API, to send yourself a positive and uplifting email on the hour. Next, we want to give you this uplifting quote of the day. This also used an API. By the way, we used a lot of them. Prepare yourself. And below that, before we start scrolling, maybe you want to play a happy playlist from Spotify, which was integrated using the Spotify API. And then this is a dashboard. We want to give you important information, so what's more important than the weather? Below the weather, you're going to be able to find a Dad Jokes API, and yes, that is an API that exists. I am so happy about it. So I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Next, we have two APIs APIs next to each other. First, we have the cat facts API, which automatically refreshes, alongside a call to an auto-refreshing cat images API. So really good stuff. You can stay there for 5 years. Next, we have a mysterious horoscope section. For me personally, I'm a Leo. I want to see what my horoscope is. And oh look, it's good news. I'm going to get a reward. Below this horoscopes API, we actually have this really fascinating section where we're using both a news API and a mood analyzer API. And you'll see that it has a happiness rating, but some of the things aren't very happy, actually. This is because computers probably don't understand happiness like humans do. And then this is a bit of an Easter egg that we're really proud of. If you manage to make it through the news, which might be kind of unhappy, guys, sorry about that, then if you keep scrolling, you'll notice a change come over the screen. We have the NASA API, which each day refreshes to give you a new fact and a new picture of the day. Isn't that a great way to end off any day with Rocku? Thank you. Next, I'm going to pass it off to Haruna, who's going to talk about our tech.
Thank you, Mari. We use these texts. We deployed Rocku on Heroku. There are many APIs in Rakuten RapidAPI, so we needed to choose which API we use. And the time to find the API was really fun. As a result, we choose these APIs. Also, we try the external APIs. Next, sorry. Next, we talk about our challenges.
Alright, thank you, Haruna. So I'm going to be talking about the many issues and challenges we ran into, which isn't a bad thing, they're learning opportunities. So firstly, during development, we did run into some problems with planning out our tech stack. We went into the project thinking, we don't need a backend, we've got Rakuten's RapidAPI, we can just send our codes directly there. But our tech lead Kota pointed out pretty early on that actually this means that our API keys would be exposed by the client. So we decided to rewrite a bunch of code to reroute our API requests through an express server. That did end up wasting some valuable time that we learned from it. We ran into a similar issue with state management. We went into the project thinking that we wanted to use Redux, but it ended up causing more problems than it solved, and we ended up taking that out. Next, although communication in the group was great, we still ran into merge conflicts, and we learned that we should probably pull and push more often. Right, so next, integration issues. So Rakuten RapidAPI is an excellent service with lots of APIs, but as a result, we ran into problems with picking out the perfect APIs for our project. So we spent a lot of time, probably more time than we had to, just browsing the API list and trying to figure out what was best for us. Next, we did run into some issues with API rate limiting. We actually ended up being able to fix that by caching our results in the database, which conveniently we're able to do because we had the backend set up earlier. So that's great. So next, Antonio will be talking about future features we'd like to see implemented in our project.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. So some of the things we want to improve to make Rocku a bit more functional would be to have, first of all, better news filtering. So even though it reads the sentiment as positive and outputs it, maybe we need to either think about improving the analysis or using a different news source altogether. Also, we wanted to have social media integration into Rocku so that it could give you a more personalized message when you use notifications like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and along that lines, having a Spotify login to modify the playlist would be good, because right now it's preset. If you want to change it, you need to log in, which gets you out of the Rocku app, so having that would be very convenient. And to have all those functions together, we would probably have to implement some sort of user login to keep track of all the user data so that they only have to log in once and not have to do that every time they use the app. Finally, we want to add some email functionality so that you can send happy emails to yourself whenever instead of just on the hour. So, thank you for listening. This is information of our GitHub, and the QR code leads to the GitHub repo where we have information about ourselves as well as the source code. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much to Team Rocku. I really love that Easter egg about the space back. Feeling super excited to end my day with that. And maybe some weather selected playlists from Overcast. So lots of things to play with tonight. So let's give a hand one more time to Team Rocku. Awesome work. Okay, last but again, certainly not least, now that we have all of this happiness, all of this positivity, we might want to share it with someone. So last team is Team Terra. They're going to be helping us tackle the dating world with their digital dating assistant. So let's welcome Team Terra.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Let me present you the matchmakers. Please give it up for Totally Travis. Astuta Sami. I am Rusty Raphael. And Awesome Ashley. And we are Terra, your personal dating assistant. Now, dating is hard. Sometimes it really feels like some of us are from Mars and others from Venus. But it doesn't have to be like that. With the right tool, you can turn dating into an enjoyable voyage. This is Single Suzuki. He's a hip young professional that met Nice Nancy on Tinder. He really likes her. He really does. And he wants to invite her for the first date. But where should they go? Where should they go? What should they do? How do they take the next step? Terra is here for the rescue. Terra is a magician. You tell her when and where, and she'll give you the perfect spot for that first date. She has an encyclopedic knowledge of jokes to break the ice in that awkward first moment, and will help you put your plan into actions and make that first date memorable. Now, let's meet Terra, and Awesome Ashley will do the honors.
Thank you, Raphael. So let's see Terra at work together. So, Single Suzuki has met Nancy and secured the first date, but he's kind of worried when he meets her, how can he break the ice? What can he do? That's when Terra comes to the rescue. So on our homepage, if we go to help breaking the ice, we currently have 3 options for jokes that you can choose from. And we have, oh yes, sure, okay. So a dad joke, Single Suzuki is scrolling through jokes, he sees this, he's like, I really like this joke. I think I'm going to practice it, and this is what I'm going to use. Stares at it, are you a font? Because you're just my type. And because of Terra's help, he is confident that he'll be able to, kind of capture Nancy's heart, but he has a bigger problem. He doesn't know where to go. If we go back to our homepage, and we need help planning the date, they're planning to meet next Monday on the 24th, and Nancy has been wanting to go to Shibuya. So we'll type in Shibuya, zip code, and they'll be meeting for the whole day, so he wants recommendations for both restaurants and activities. And what Tara will do if we put these inputs in is she will check the weather for that location on that day and give recommendations based on if it's sunny, then maybe an activity outdoors, if it's raining, maybe indoors. Here we have our results, the restaurants, but unfortunately, Single Suzuki has plans to eat at this restaurant the night before, so he wants a different option. To okay, we can change the restaurant, and Tara can give him a new recommendation. If we scroll a little bit down, we can see our activities. Which, of course, if you have plans to go there again, you can change the suggested activity. So that's kind of how Tara helps, and we have news that because of Tara's help, Sing Suzuki was able to get a second date with Nancy, and he'll be consulting Tara again. So I'm going to pass the mic to Sami to talk about our tech stack.
Thank you, Ashley. So now I'll explain the tech stack. So first, for front end, we developed using React Redux and Bootstrap. And next, for development pipeline, we use Help and GitHub. And at the center of the Tara's heart is Rakuten RapidAPI. Tara is powered by useful API from Rakuten RapidAPI. So we use OpenWeather and TripAdvisor and Jobs API. OpenWeather API gives the weather information 5 days from now. And TripAdvisor gives the detailed information such as restaurant and activities with location data. And Jobs API gives us random jobs. So next, Travis will explain the challenges.
So Tara's helpful now, but she had a few tantrums when she was growing up, and those were our challenges. The first one was when we were creating our project idea. There were so many APIs to choose from in the marketplace that we had a hard time kind of deciding what app we wanted to build. Luckily, we ultimately all decided to build a dating app using the different APIs we found. We also had an issue with API rate limits because we were learning as we were building. We were testing things very often, and so we ran into rate limits where we couldn't test anymore certain APIs. So we had to change our strategies and find other APIs with bigger limits, which was a learning opportunity. And we also had some learning opportunities where we had to figure out how to combine different APIs and make them all work together. So in the future, we'd like to add a few features to Tara. One thing would be being able to share directly from the app, either via SMS or email, so that you don't have to share using another platform. We'd also like to add a fun feature. So we saw an API where you can put in two people's names and get a prediction on how compatible they are. So we don't know how scientific it is, but definitely a fun feature that might help Suzuki de-stress a little when he's navigating that dating world. We'd also like to give the ability to save dates. So, maybe had a really good recommendation and they want to go on that date again, they can save that information. And we wanted to make it available to people who speak more languages than just English. So that's an overview of Tara. We invite you to check her out. You can scan this QR code, see our GitHub page, and that page has information about all of our GitHub profiles and our LinkedIn. So thank you.
Okay, I'm sure you all will join me in wishing Single Suzuki the best of luck using Tara. I really wish this had been around a long time ago. It would have made things a lot easier. So once again, let's give it up for Team Tara. I always love it when we come to this part of the project. I don't think I mentioned before, but our software engineers have been in this boot camp for just 7 weeks. This is the end of week 7. And they've created these full stack apps and presentations and everything you've seen tonight in under 4 days, right? While attending lectures, while preparing for our big mini comp, which actually takes place not tomorrow, but the Saturday after. And so this is just incredible what they're able to accomplish in such a short period of time. So all of the staff here at Chrysalis are endlessly proud of their progress, so much that I'm going to tear up a little bit, but no, I won't cry on camera. So yeah, let's give them one more round of applause. Okay, and so yeah, please save save the date, next Saturday, big mini conf, awesome, really looking forward to that. I believe that is February 29th. It is a leap year, yes, this year. Okay, so please come out and see them in a completely different context, individually presenting something that they've researched for about 7 weeks now and developed really awesome talks over. So this is going to conclude the demo portion. If you have any questions for students about what they've built, please come find them afterwards. We also have snacks and drinks right back here. Thank you very much for Rakuten RapidAPI for providing those. And something that I actually probably should have mentioned in the beginning of the event, if you need to go to the restroom, please just go straight back and turn right. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.